2099 Alpha Issue 1 sees a child travel through a wasteland of a world, hearing the words of the Avengers in Asgard echoing through their head. They soon come across Mjolnir as evil creatures begin to rise, causing the mutant child to run off. Sometime later in Brooklyn, the hammer falls over as a transport carrying soldiers arrives, but soon the hammer is picked up by an Asgardian, who smashes the men with it, but they soon shoot and kill him. The soldiers regroup and soon find that they are looking for a missing person, a man from Eco who got lost in Brooklyn. One of the soldiers learns that he was in the dangerous neighborhood since a woman wanted her son to be helped out of his skullfire condition. They wonder if the man is even still alive, since they think they found the mother and son dead, and soon they find him dead as well, suspended in the air with Mjolnir strung around his neck. In New York, at the Alchemex building, Miguel O'Hara shows Tyler his work on the genetic sequence, with Tyler finding it incredible what he's been able to do, but it's most impressed with the sensory reaction to oncoming threats he's developed. Tyler knows that the Raider initiative might be unseemly to people like Miguel, but it's vital for guarding their intellectual property, despite Miguel knowing Alchemex also uses it to guard their competitors. Tyler says it's all for the greater good and asks what they named the test subject at the facility, learning from Miguel, who met it up close, that they've called it Spider-Man. As Tyler leaves to deal with trials for the new sequence, Miguel remembers being infected by the Spider-Man's blood, calling for Lila to do some research with him. Elsewhere, two people talk and one says that they can see the world as the other has made it. Cold and cruel, full of lost souls. One of them knows that this world is angry and all the science that they gifted them is supposed to be progressing them, but it doesn't. As Conan fights a group of raiders, Dr. Doom tells his captive he has a use for him. The captive is revealed to be the Watcher, whom Doom wants to know what he sees. Doom says that he sees people cleansed of their lowest instincts and they are free to fulfill their potential. The problem is the people are beginning to question their greater gifts, but the Watcher knows he did not give them anything and asked if Doom knew the heroes would try and get back their memories and history. Victor says that he did what needed to be done since lesser men were playing gods and almost destroyed everything, but Doom could only fix it by wiping existence. But he could still feel the infection trying to claw its way back in, and he must remain vigilant and wants to show Watcher where it begins. Elsewhere, a man speeds through the city, making it over the city limits and into Transverse City. There, the man is met by a younger man on a black bike, who tells him the police can't follow him into the moving city. The biker learns the man accidentally killed a fellow playwright for stealing his work. The man says that he's safe here on the roads, and whatever trouble he's in, he can wait it out there, so long as he's got something to pay the tolls. Luckily, the man has, as the biker points out his exhaust is totaled, but he knows someone who can fix it, for a price that is. Soon their mechanic arrives behind them, giving him a price, but the man is unhappy with it, asking how people live that way. The man is forced to pay, but as he does, the biker steals all his money, saying there isn't any laws in Transverse City as long as you keep moving. The man's vehicle crashes in an explosion, and he is pulled from the wreckage on the side of the road by the police, as Doom wonders what the biker is to him, but the Watcher says it's not the biker he should be worried about, it's what rides behind him. On the outskirts of the city at a bar, Herbie the robot makes his way through the raiders. Meeting with two men, he asks if they've seen his mother's friends. The men pick up the robot, looking him over for parts as Herbie asks them to let him go. Before they can scavenge the parts, Venture arrives, telling them to put the robot down. The men quickly do, unaware of the interest the woman has in the robot, but she kills one of the men before quickly dispatching of the other. Going outside, she meets with Herbie, asking if the robot is okay, and he tells her about his mother and her friends, and if the bounty hunter can help him. Venture isn't so sure, but Herbie mentions that he can pay, but the woman doesn't think he has the right type of currency for her. Herbie doesn't have money, however, but he has something far better, something that Venture will want, making her agree to help the bot. Doom knows that they won't succeed, and wonders if Watcher has any other fools he wishes to show Doom. Watcher hears something else and knows Doom can hear it too. Metal on metal at a forge. Watcher knows as war is being declared on Doom, a man makes a set of armor. Doom says that Kingpin will deal with it, but Watcher knows that his past has finally caught up with him, and none of this is some noble sacrifice that Doom thinks it is. All the pain and deceit begins with his foolish pride. Doom tortures the Watcher for his insolence, but the Watcher knows that he's too late, since the person who is arriving isn't going to bend the knee to Doom or any god, since his his future is his own. 2099 Alpha Issue 1 was a pretty lackluster primer to the upcoming 2099 books, as we see Doom try and get ahead of some of the coming wars with the help of the Watcher. Ultimately, this issue is very skippable actually, since it doesn't actually set up any of the tie-ins all too well, like doesn't really give you much information or any information on the overarching story. It just felt like a bunch of pages from each of the tie-ins put together in like one of those preview books that you see. It has piqued my interest though. I am intrigued in some of these stories, especially the Punisher and the Conan books. I'm going to give this issue a 5 out of 10.